What's up, it's Cody, welcome back to the channel. Now, most musicians that I talk to say that one of their biggest goals is to be able to be a musician full-time. So today, I thought I'd give you 14 different ways that you can make money as a musician in order to help you quit your day job and become a full-time musician. Now, this is actually something that I did back in 2017 after graduating with a degree in music. I was working as a bartender all through university, and once I finally graduated, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna become a full-time musician. I spent that whole summer on tour with my own band and on tour with different bands. But then when the fall came around, I realized that I hadn't made hardly any money over the summer and I was really struggling. And since my band was hardly making any money at all, I needed to find creative ways to support myself so that I could continue being a full-time musician. Now, I do use the term full-time musician pretty lightly. For myself, while music is still a huge part of what I do, it's not necessarily how I make most of my money, and that's probably not how you're gonna make most of your money either, being a full-time musician. But that doesn't mean that you need to have a regular job at McDonald's or Walmart. You can continue working in the music industry and creating music every single day while getting paid for it. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna show you 14 different ways that you can make money as a musician. Now, just before we jump into it, if you could please do me a huge favor and just hit the like button down below. It really helps out me and my channel and helps this video get seen by many more people. So if you appreciate these tips and how you can make some money as a musician, please just take 1 second and just go smash that like button down below. It really helps me out so much. So thank you in advance. All right, now the first way that you can make money as a musician is by teaching music to other people. If you're strong in a particular instrument and are good at communicating with other people, then teaching might be a really good option for you. Now, you don't need any schooling to do this, or you don't need to go through a private company and have them hire you as a teacher. This is something that you can offer from your house or even online as a private lesson. Now, the prices of lessons do vary, so it will depend on your skill level and how many people are offering lessons in your area, but it's easy to make $50 in a 30 or 60-minute lesson. You are gonna have to prepare a little bit of a lesson and have a structure of what you're gonna do every single week to help progress your student. But by putting in a couple hours of prep, you're gonna have some really good resources to help you teach, and it's only gonna get easier as you go. So if you wanna make a couple extra bucks, offering lessons is such a great way. All you have to do is post an ad on Craigslist or Kijiji, or even just spread word of mouth. Once you get your first client and have your first set of lessons, it's only gonna start to snowball and grow from there. All right, now the second way that you can make money as a musician is by starting a YouTube channel. One thing that I've always loved to do is make cover songs and arrange them in my own way. And this is something that a lot of people do really well in on YouTube. Now, this one is gonna take a little bit of time to grow, and you are gonna have to develop a bit of a fan base, but people love hearing cover songs and different arrangements of tunes. So if you love playing music and you love singing and playing guitar or playing piano, whatever it is, creating a YouTube channel where you do just that could be a really great way to make a little bit of money on the side. Or maybe playing isn't your thing. Maybe you want to do gear reviews and talk about your favorite guitars or your favorite drum set. Or maybe you have some really great music industry related tips that you want to share with everybody to help progress themselves through their music career. And they're going to subscribe down below so that they don't miss out on any of your weekly videos. But regardless, the YouTube channel is a great way to bring in a little bit of extra money on the side while still doing what you love to do. All right, now the third way that you can make money as a musician is by writing songs. If you're a strong songwriter and feel like you're really good at putting together music, this would be a great way to bring in a little bit of extra money on the side. Try teaming up with other artists and musicians and writing songs together and just doing a simple 50-50 royalty split with them. Not only is this gonna help you bring in a little bit of extra money on the side, but this is also gonna be a great way to develop your songwriting skills in general. The more that you work with new people and start collaborating on new ideas, the more you're gonna learn in the long run. So I think this is something that could be really beneficial to any musician and any songwriter and will really help you grow exponentially. All right, now the fourth way that you can make money as a musician is by being a session player. Often bands and artists will hire out session musicians to either play on their recordings or with them live. This is something that I personally love doing and have been doing for the past few years. I love to play live as a session guitar player or bass player, and it's helped brought me in a little bit of money over the past couple years. But this goes far beyond just playing live. If you have a friend or know some bands that are in studio and may not have a bass player or a drummer, or maybe they need some help with some additional singing parts, you could go in and record those parts for them. Now, finding a gig like this may be a little challenging, but one really great way that you can offer your services is through Fiverr. Now, Fiverr allows you to promote your service and lets people hire you for that job. So if you're a really good guitar player or a really good bass player, you can offer that service on Fiverr, and if people like your work, they'll hire you to record on their track. So if you've ever thought about being a session musician and think that'd be a fun way to make a little bit of extra money on the side, I have a link to Fiverr down below. Go ahead, sign up, check it out. It's a really easy site to use. It's completely free and might help you make some extra money in the long run. All right, the fifth way that you can make money as a musician is by recording other people's music. Now, this is something that I absolutely love to do. It's one of the ways that I actually make most of my money as a musician, and recording other people's music is just so enjoyable for me. I feel like I get to be the 5th member or 6th member of that band for a week, and I'm always so proud of what we come out with in studio. So if you know your way around Pro Tools or Logic and are decent at mixing and recording music, this could be a great way to make a little bit of extra money on the side while recording your friends' bands. Or once again, you could sign up with Fiverr and create a post, and maybe someone will hire you to mix their music. All right, tip number 6 is by doing photography. Now, I know this is a little separated from music, but this is another one that I personally love to do. Now, while I know that photography is a little different than being a musician, the two do go hand in hand. Often when I'm on tour, I love to bring my camera out with me, and I'll often reach out to the local openers on the shows and see if they want me to shoot their set for them. Normally, I'll just send them a Facebook or Instagram message, letting them know that I'll be there with my camera, and send them a portfolio of my work and say I'll shoot their set for $50. And you'd be surprised how many times these bands say yes. Bands are always looking for photos from their shows, and sometimes it's really hard to come by. So $50 can be a really great opportunity for them to get a decent amount of shots from their show and maybe even a few portrait shots after. Now, while you or me may not be the greatest photographers in the world, for the right price, your work can definitely be worth it to another artist. So this is certainly another way to consider making money if you're trying to become a full-time musician. All right, and way number 7 you can make money is by doing graphic design. Now, once again, I know this is not entirely music related, but all musicians need some sort of graphic design work. So if you know your way around Photoshop or Illustrator and are able to come up with graphic designs for bands' merchandise or for their album artwork, this could be a great way for you to make a little bit of extra money on the side. Now, this is something that I've been doing for the past couple years as well. I'm by no means a professional graphic designer at all, but I've been doing my own band's album artwork and all of our merchandise, and I've learned how to use Photoshop pretty well over the past few years. So if you're anything like me and have been doing the DIY thing with your band for the past couple years, you've probably figured out how to use Photoshop at least a little bit, and maybe this is something that you can offer to other bands. It doesn't hurt to just make a post or an ad and see if anybody needs some graphic design work done. You never know who's looking for some cheap graphic design work, and you could be exactly what they're looking for. And once again, another way that you can go about advertising your graphic design work is on Fiverr, so the link's down below if you want to check that out. All right, the 8th way that you can make money is by creating beats or samples. Now, if you're a person like me who just loves making music all the time and you have a ton of stuff stored away, selling your beats or selling your samples can be a great way to make a little bit of extra money. All the time I see advertisements for beats, loops, and sample packs, and if this is something that you really enjoy making, this can be a great way to make a couple extra dollars on the side. It's easy enough to just make a SoundCloud page, post some of your music there, and see if anybody's interested in purchasing it. You never know who's going to want to sing or rap over the music that you've created. All right, tip number 9, and this is a new one to me, but something that I've always wanted to try out, and that's creating ambient music. I was scrolling through Spotify the other day, and I saw some playlists with some ambient and meditation music, and I looked at how many streams some of this stuff had, and was absolutely blown away. If you enjoy creating ambient atmospheric sounds and just something that sounds very calming, people can meditate to, or just have playing in the background during a massage, if Spotify picks up one of these songs and playlists them, you can get millions of streams so easily. So while creating original music with your own band and artist name can be fun, maybe creating some ambient music or some meditation tunes on the side might be a good way to come up with some income on the side. Now, like I said, I have no experience in making music like this, but I've heard that it can be a really great way to make some money on the side. So if it's something that you've done in the past, drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your story about it and maybe learn a thing or two from you. All right, way number 10 that you can make some money on the side is by busking. Now, this is something I used to do years ago, is just go set up on the corner of the street or in the park and just start playing music for people. Now, you'd be amazed at just how much money you can make from busking. If you go set up in a busy park with a lot of traffic through there, you can easily make $100 or $200 in a day's worth of work. Now, this was always one of my favorite things to do, is just go set up in a park and play music for people. I love performing and people love live music, and it's such a great way to make a little bit of extra cash on the side. But something to keep in mind is that often you do need permits from the city if you want to busk, so you might not just be able to go set up. Check in with your local area and see exactly what the rules are about that. All right, way 11 that you can make some money in becoming a full-time musician is by being in a cover band. Believe it or not, being in a cover band is actually one of the best ways that you can make money as a musician. If you're able to provide 2 or 3 hours worth of music in a night, bars and casinos will pay you anywhere from $200 to $2,000 for a night's worth of work. Now, this is going to take a lot of time. You're going to have to be well practiced in these songs and know them really well, maybe even able to take requests, and you're going to have to split all this money between 4 or 5 people, depending on how big your band is. But playing music on the weekend and getting paid decently for it seems like a pretty good way to make money money on the side if you ask me. So if you love playing live and just want to play some tunes, consider starting a cover band or joining an existing cover band that maybe needs a new member. All right, the 12th way that you can make some money as a musician is by buying and selling musical instruments. Now this is something that I've done over the past couple years that I didn't intend on doing, but I love buying guitars. If I see a good deal on a used guitar, I go and buy it. But I got to the point where I realized I don't need 10 different guitars, so I started selling them for more than I bought them for and doubling my money almost every single time I've done it. So if you're anything like me and you already love collecting instruments and have a decent knowledge about them, buying and selling used instruments can be a great way to make some money and double your investment on the side. So an example of how easy it can be to do this, a couple years ago I bought an Epiphone Dot for $150 on Kijiji. I then traded that guitar plus $100 of my own for an Epiphone Prophecy guitar, which I sold last year for $800. So I took my $250 investment and got $800 out of it. And I got to play 2 really sick guitars over the course of 2 years. So if you know your instruments, this can be a great way to make a little bit of extra money on the side and have some fun playing some really cool instruments along the way. All right, way number 13 that you can make some money in order to become a full-time musician is by becoming a DJ. If you keep up with modern music and also know the classics really well and also have a good personality and are good at working with people, becoming a DJ can be such a great way to make some extra cash. It's so easy to make $200 to $500 in a night DJing in a club. They'll often give you a meal and maybe a couple drinks, and it can be a lot of fun just playing music and entertaining people along the way. Now, becoming a DJ is going to take a little bit of practice, but at the end of the day, you're really just playing music and entertaining people, just like if you're playing a live show. So whether it's at a wedding or at a club, becoming a DJ can be such a good way to make some cash on the side. All right, and way number 14 that you can make some money as a musician on the side is by doing live sound for concerts and bands. Now, once again, this does require a lot of practice and a different skill set than you're probably used to as a musician. But if you know your way around sound and are good with the mixing console, maybe doing live sound can be a good option for you. Doing live sound is literally how I survive as a musician. There's a couple venues in town that I work at quite regularly, and then I also do festivals over the summer. Now, doing sound for smaller clubs and bars might only pay you $100 or $200 in a night, but as you work your way up to bigger and bigger venues and doing 1,000 people and then 5,000 people, you can make up to $500 or $600 in a day's worth of work just by doing live sound. So if that's something you're interested in, it can be a great way to make some money on the side, but be careful, it's super easy to get sucked all the way in and forget about playing music entirely and just becoming a live sound tech. So if that's something you want to do, or with any of these really, make sure that you stay focused on your goals of being a musician and don't get sucked into a new job. Remember, we're trying to be full-time musicians, and these are just ways that are going to help supplement our income and make sure that we're able to continue making music along the way. Well, I hope you found this really helpful in finding different ways that you can make money as a musician. Remember, being a full-time musician doesn't mean that you only work on your own band's music. There's a lot of other ways within the music industry that can help you support this lifestyle. So if you did find this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button down below so that other people can see this video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.